Welcome back to Tips Over Tea. This is episode 13. I am Nicole, your host. We had the great pleasure of speaking with Ilana today, and I invited her because of her perspective and knowledge on spine health with respect to health and vitality, sexual health, pain management, and so many more things. So if this sounds like an area of interest to you, grab your tea and listen in. And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 13 of Tips Over Tea. Thank you for bearing with us in our technical difficulties. I am so thrilled to bring Ilana here to speak with you guys. I heard her speak about spine health, and I've never heard what she shared. So that's why I wanted to bring her onto the show and share what she knows and learned and how she's helped women. So Ilana, by all means, welcome to the show, and please share a little about what you do and how you do it.
Thank you so much, Nikki, and it's such an honor to be here and share some spinal wisdom here. It's so interesting how it's one of the most fundamental elements of our health, our well-being, and it holds us together, and yet it gets the least amount of attention. Mm-hmm. Yes, fitness gets attention, and yes, nutrition gets attention, but when it comes to our spine, there's very little awareness and education and also practices that go deep enough to really meet our needs today, because we're forgetting that yoga was developed 10,000 years ago, but today our musculoskeletal system is not what it used to be 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago, we didn't have smartphones and we didn't have laptops and we didn't have the lifestyle that we have today. Yeah. And so that's why a lot of people are developing. I think something like over 80% of people will experience some kind of back pain throughout their life, either chronic or some back pain episodes. Just to bring awareness back into the spine allows us to tap into our innate intelligence and allows us to tap into an incredible healing powers that we have inside our body. Mm-hmm. That just tapping into itself can do wonders, and I've seen it over and over again. I used to be a health and a fitness fanatic over 2 decades, but the work with the spine that I do shows me over and over again what is possible for us. And, the fountain of youth or that philosopher's stone is actually not outside of us. It's right here inside of us. And today I want to share some insights on how we can tap into it and what are some of the results that I've seen in women. And I've worked with women who've gone through major trauma, surgeries, injuries, and literally within a week or one session, they're able to let go of major chronic pain they've had for years, sometimes decades. It never returns because we are changing our habits and we're learning how to align our spine in a way that healing can happen. So
that's awesome. Yeah, you're right. Like, you don't really hear about the spine and how it affects your health. So what type of work do you do specifically with the spine? Of course, aligning it, making sure we're sitting and standing properly, and keeping our backs, in a line with itself. But I know you have like a lot of flexibility, and even your Transformational Flexibility Mastery program. What do you address when it comes to your spine?
Okay, so when it comes to the spine, we are targeting some of the areas of the spine that have never been opened. Actually, we're targeting the whole entire spine, from our tailbone all the way to our atlas, and we're opening up segments that yoga doesn't even reach. Mm-hmm. So where yoga ends, transformational flexibility begins. We're stimulating all 33 vertebrae, all energy centers, everything opening up. And this is why people, like, after the first session, like, they may have not slept through the night in years, and all of a sudden they can, and all of a sudden they're experiencing the kind of healing that they're experiencing. And so we are elongating the spine, we're decompressing the spine, we're twisting, we're bending the spine, we're bringing back spinal flexibility. And if you guys are familiar with Joseph Pilates, he said that you're only as young as your spine is flexible. So on the fundamental level, I help women heal. I help them heal because everybody's holding some kind of blockages or traumas in their body, or some kind of pain, some kind of stiffness, some kind of tightness. It just, the level that we carry, it varies.
Sure.
And so the fundamental level of my work is helping people release all that from their body that doesn't belong there. We also address nutrition. We also address detox, because we want to cleanse ourselves on an emotional and on a physical level and get rid of everything that doesn't serve us. Then once we have done that and healing has taken place and the pain has left the body, and when I talk about pain left the body, I've worked with women. I had a woman who had gone through hysterectomy, and after a year later, she could not get her body to open up, and she tried yoga and massage therapy and all kinds of things. And her lower abdomen, lower back were just blocked up, and literally within that week, all that pain was gone. In the fourth session, she was already doing the split. And now she's more flexible than she ever was, and her relationship completely transformed, and her body is in better shape than it was in her 20s. And so this is the kind of work that I love to share with women and watch them experience this. And then I had a woman who gone through she had cervical cancer and multiple surgeries, and have tried every possible therapy, and she was living in excruciating pain every day, couldn't even sit on the floor, play with her children. And literally that first week freed her from that pain she's been carrying for years, tried everything. So that's the beautiful part of the healing process. And the next level is women are starting to fall in love with their body again. It's a hard thing to do when you're going through so much pain, but you start to fall in love with your body again, because you understand that it's an intelligent mechanism and it can heal itself. And then we're starting to sculpt the body, and we start to do something that I love to call is unfolding your feminine grace. And I'm talking about every curve, from slimming the waist and making that core solid, refining those abs, building that perfect peach booty. Actually, on my Facebook stories right now, I just posted one of the stories that another girl that I worked with, and she lost 65 pounds and completely rebuilt her body. She shares, like, now when she's walking in the street, she feels so much more confident, because that awareness that she has about her body, how her posture has improved and opened up. And she says, I feel there's parts of my booty that I didn't even know were there, and now they're just popping, and it gives me such a sense of confidence. And so bringing that usefulness, that playfulness, that place that a lot of women have thought that they'll never have again, because they've gone through pain, because they've been through a lot, or they just didn't know how to get there. And we're able to get there in just a few short weeks. And it's very exciting.
That is exciting. So a lot of times healing, we say it takes time, and it still does. There's some things that still take time, but to be able to implement some type of tool that can help accelerate it in a healthy way is definitely beneficial. And I'm sure those women just love you to death.
You know what? The beautiful thing is that, like, literally we're like family, and those friendships that we develop over time are going to be lifelong friendships, because I will never forget these women of how they came to me and how their life became within such a short period of time. In fact, I have sometimes their partners messaging me and just thanking me. And I have a lot more testimonials on my Facebook than I do on my Instagram. I don't really share that, but if you go to my Facebook and you scroll through it, you'll see some of those. And I recently had one of the partners message me and just thank me. He said that he woke up next to his partner one morning, and she literally looked like a piece of art, as if she was sculpted out of marble. And this is a woman who's gone through hysterectomy and had a severe case of endometriosis, which is a lot of inflammation around the gut, and a lot of excess weight around that area. And so, and this is actually when they met, when she was really sick. And so he's never seen her in her most beautiful expression. And now that she is, it's just taking their relationship to a whole other level. And so he's just absolutely in awe. And they're so cute. They're these lovebirds. And I posted them also, their little message on my Facebook, because I know a lot of women are struggling as they've let their health kind of derail. It's really affected their relationships, and it's affected their intimacy. And so reviving that sexual vitality again, especially after going through major traumas, just brings that's the glue that holds us together in our romantic relationships, and sometimes in our families. And so it's such a beautiful process. I really can't it's really not a fitness program. It's really not a flexibility program. I don't know how else to call it. I call it transformational flexibility, but it really transforms every area of your life. I have women that also reported that even in their business life, in their work, they feel a lot more confident. I have a woman that messaged me, said, I said, where have you been? I haven't seen you in a couple of classes. And she says, you know, my life exploded with confidence, and I'm doing things now that I'm taking on so many new things that I wasn't allowing myself to do before. Yeah. And she's like, I have to share all this with you over a call. So I'm excited to hear how her life exploded with confidence. But there's a lot of science behind it, and I don't want to bore you with science, but the science behind it, and I might have shared that when I was in my clubhouse, is they've done a study. It was a Harvard study that was done, and they measured the levels of testosterone of people that had what's called expensive posture. And there was a significant increase in testosterone among the people who had the expensive posture, which is linked to leadership behavior. And whereas the people that had the poor posture had a decrease in testosterone, and they had a lot of more negative thought patterns. And those people had a lot of positive thought patterns. And so how we hold ourselves changes our whole biochemistry. So I always say what we do is we change our biomechanics, and then we change our biochemistry. And I'm kind of battling the people that are always doing mind therapy to fix the body. And I'm telling them, if you just work on the body and even like forget about the mind, your mind will follow, because 80% of the communication happens from the body upwards to the brain, only 20%. And we're governed by our subconscious patterns. And so changing how we hold ourselves, changing all the subconscious patterns that have been intertwined in our tissues and in our organs, and how we hold and carry and conduct ourselves, will actually shift the neural pathways in our mind and change our patterns of thought and change the patterns of how we hold ourselves. And this is why women are also saying that their posture naturally improves. And so there was a really big famous TED Talk by Amy Cuddy it was a TED Talk and on posture, and it was all great. And she refers to the study, but the solution is practice 2 minutes of good posture a day. The solution is just completely not helpful, because few people understand that posture is actually a subconscious pattern that's been building up for years and often decades. And so by telling ourselves to switch our posture, within seconds, the subconscious mind kicks in, and we're back at our hunched position that most of us unfortunately hold ourselves all day. And so with this type of work that we do with my unique training method, we are actually breaking these patterns and opening up the body. And so eventually that's why when the women are walking down the street, I had another 68-year-old woman said, I walk into a grocery store now, I'm feeling like Miss Universe, because her posture has opened up so beautifully, and it becomes effortless. Another thing why it's literally impossible to change your posture just by telling yourself, also because our core muscles and our glutes have been so weakened from our stagnant lifestyle and sitting down. And these are the muscles that are actually going to help support you if you want to be upright. And so what we're doing throughout the training method is we're consistently rebuilding and strengthening the muscles that are the natural weight belt around our spine to support a healthy, strong muscular structure around it. And so that's another reason why having a perfect posture becomes first nature to us. Actually, it becomes uncomfortable, and it feels really weird if you're slouching, and a lot of the women are reporting that. Now, slouching does not feel comfortable.
That's a good thing. Because I can imagine that creates all kinds of other issues, the slouching, the issues that occur from that. Like, even if there wasn't any specific traumas, you're creating trauma by not sitting properly also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's called the 60-pound head, the forward head posture. And this is something that we're continuously doing as we're, because everything that we do, there are no natural movements that force us to open up. So everything that we do throughout the day, from looking at our phone to working on our laptop, to washing dishes, to carrying things, to driving, to making food, everything is just like kind of, and then there's gravity. And so over time, that's what happens. And then there was another post I put on Facebook a while ago, and it was Grey's Anatomy, a chart of how every vertebrae misalignment is linked to a whole range of conditions. And so putting creams and taking pills isn't going to fix it. And that's why I always say your spine is the foundation. And when you open things up, that's when you're making, so what happens over time is we're compressing ourselves. And then there's less room for the disc, and then there's less room for nerve supply. And that's why people start experiencing pain and they have less energy, and then they'll reach out for energy drinks. But the problem is not the energy drink, because you're going to run an energy that you don't have, you know? And so by opening up the spine, we're instantly energizing ourselves. And that's why I have a lot of women that are entrepreneurs, and they're coming to the practice and they're exhausted because they've just been grinding it out all day. And by the end of the hour, they're like, I feel so energized. It's a regenerative practice. This is how it's also different from traditional fitness or traditional workouts and exercises, because everything that we do is regenerative. We're optimizing the spine, we're optimizing nerve supply, we're optimizing every organ function. We're also flushing the organs with fresh blood and oxygen. It's so rejuvenative, it's so youthening, and that's why people are feeling great. And that feeling is long lasting. You know, if you know the runner's high, it's like a feeling of this massive, like endorphins, like being released all over your body. But it's quite short lasting, and you have to bring yourself almost to the point of vomiting to reach that. With our practice, we are getting there without exhausting ourselves, and it's low impact. So anyone who has like any kind of injuries can also enjoy the benefits and get maximum results. And I've had people that have been personal trainers that they call themselves gym rats, and they've gotten the same kind of body sculpting effect or even better with the training at home versus the gym, which was high impact or a lot of wear and tear, and also accelerates aging if you overdo it and takes a lot from the body. Because
incorrectly done exercise will add stress. Have you ever had, because if anybody's ever checked out your Instagram and you're like, you are very, very flexible, clearly. So when people come to you, do they express a fear of, or just like not being able to have that type of flexibility? And you're saying they're seeing results within a week, but what should they look for, or how should they approach this whole this routine when you start? Let me rephrase that. When you start working with someone, especially people who have not like been stretching in forever, like where do you start with? Because of course, if you overdo that too initially, you could cause injury. So how do you get started after you've not been working in that area?
Okay, so actually a lot of people I work with have also never stretched in their life, or the people I've worked with have gone through surgeries and injuries. So we have to start at a very fundamental level. Usually with people like that, what I do is I am going to do a one-on-one assessment, and we're going to see where their body's at. And it's very, very gentle, and it's very conservative, but it gives me a good idea of where the areas that we focus on for them. And then I customize a routine that's best for them. And so they'll come into the groups, but I'll always make sure that whatever it is they're doing, now we have classes called Personal Max. So you are doing whatever is ideal for you at any given time, and that's why I'm there guiding people. So that's the beauty of my work. My work is all customized. All customized, because I don't believe in cookie cutter approaches. I don't believe in everybody coming in like an assembly line. And I can't promise anyone that they're going to get results in the first week. Some people will experience them actually within the first session, and you can scroll down through some of my testimonials or send me a message. You want to see some of them on my Facebook, but I can't promise, because everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's gone through unique experiences, and everyone has a different time frame for healing. And so it really depends. But I have recently actually had a woman that joined, and she had a 28-pound fibroid removed out of her body, and she's gone through so much. But what the kind of emotional cleansing and the opening up she's experienced in the first week is absolutely incredible. So people don't need to be intimidated, because I've done more work with people who I think have these kind of experiences than I have done with people that are like super fit and all that. And I also have the professional ballerina on board, professional dancers and fitness
Wow.
trainers and yoga teachers that have just been looking for something different and revolutionary and effective and more like more targeted on spine. So
yeah, got it. Have you ever worked with anybody who's had fused vertebrae before? Like if they've had them fused together, because a lot of people have had injuries, like they've fused their bones together. So of course that flexibility, their range of motion is definitely reduced. So have you had the opportunity or have you worked with that, or is that contraindicated?
I have not had that yet. I had a woman who had some severe injury in her neck years ago, and she's working with a sports medicine doctor. And she actually connected me with him so that we can design the best exercise routine for her. So that's what we're working on right now. But yeah, that's why it's always, I have no enrollment options available online whatsoever. And it's always a must to do like an assessment call, because there are cases that I won't work with.
Yeah, so, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. What have you ever gotten a chance to work with any children that have had any trauma like that, like accidents or anything like that?
I would love to. I've had not children have had trauma, but I've had children of moms that I'm working with that have been joining the classes and just getting a great kick out of it. And I've also had women who brought their mothers. So I have a woman, she's a horseback rider, and she brought her mother, who's 65 years old, on board to train as well. And then it was funny because after her first session, a couple of days later, she says her mom loved it so much, she's still feeling her abs are still sore. And I'm like, and we didn't do any ab workouts, but what we do is always engaging the core and always engaging the glutes. And it's just like, it's amazing without ever doing actual ab workouts.
That's awesome. Because I know a lot of ab exercises are pretty much fruitless anyway. Working the back works the core. Working stability works the core and helps sculpt it most. And then of course diet.
Nutrition and detox is essential to get the best result. Yeah, absolutely.
Were you about to say something else?
Yeah, I said I look at everything. I look at everything. I even look at people's sleeping position. I look at what kind of pillow you're using. We want to optimize your spinal alignment for the rest of your life. My biggest goal is to give you the tools, the skills, the techniques, the knowledge, the power in your hands so that you can keep yourself in optimal health for the rest of your life. You know, I'm not interested in people coming to see me every week for the rest of their lives. So I can fix them and then they go back to breaking themselves. You know, because that's what we're used to. We're like, oh, let's break ourselves every single day, but I'll go and see this person and that person, and they'll fix me up for a moment and I'll feel better for 30 seconds. And then I'll go back to my same lifestyle that is the root of the problem that you're experiencing. So I work with people to address the root and then delete these habits and replace them with healthy habits and teach you how to do that every single day for the rest of your life. And that's the beauty of it. Yeah,
it is. That is the beauty of you and so many coaches I've connected with, because we're like trying to put ourselves out of business. We don't want you to keep coming back. We want to teach you so you can teach yourself and keep going. You know, you mentioned pillows. Do you have any pillows that you recommend for people for keeping a proper alignment while they're sleeping, or is that also different per person? Because, you know, we all are shaped differently.
Okay, so I'll give you some sleeping tips. So the best pillow, I've had my buckwheat pillow for over 10 years. My chiropractor's name, and he recommends to everyone. The best sleeping position for most people is the side. If you're going to sleep on the side, you're going to want your buckwheat pillow to kind of fill this space so that you are in perfect alignment. Then you're going to put a pillow between your knees, and you're going to put between, and then is if you could envision your whole spine being fully straight. Okay, so from your head all the way to your hips, completely straight when you're on the side. And buckwheat pillows are fairly inexpensive. They're really easy to get online. and they're just great. They're great.
Awesome. What is it called? Or what kind of pillow?
Buckwheat.
Buckwheat.
Yeah, you can just go on Google, type buckwheat pillow, or on Amazon. You'll find a whole bunch of them, and you really don't need anything fancy. You can't go wrong. A buckwheat pillow is a buckwheat pillow. It doesn't get more basic than that.
That's awesome. I can see that because I actually have a meditation pillow that has buckwheat holes in it, and it just seems to form, and it helps with my posture as I'm sitting there meditating and stuff. So I can see the fact that would be, so I'm gonna have to go get a new pillow.
Yes, and also if I may share, these things will change your life.
That's the yoga block, right?
Different combinations of how to use them.
Yeah,
like they'll become your best friends. You will not go a day without using them, and even when you travel, you'll bring them with you. That's how powerful some of these tools are, and that's how simple they are. And it's just never stops to blow my mind on how quickly people can take control of their health and experience, life on another level.
Yeah. And what's beautiful is once you start giving your body the right things, it knows what to do with it. Right. And that's why healing is so quick, because it's innate to heal. It's innate in our bodies to heal.
Exactly. Yeah. And then actually you start craving this practice every day because you release so much endorphins and oxytocin and serotonin that you feel so good. All these happiness hormones are flooding you. And it's like a day without practice is like something's missing. A lot of the women are like, I have women that there's 2 days a week they're not classes. And even on those days, I still have sometimes people joining the Zoom meetings. And I'm like, there's no class today. But it's like, what? So the body gets used to it. You start craving it. This feel-good experience is incredible.
Yeah. And what's important about that is that your brain doesn't care what you get addicted to, whether it be bad habits or good habits. It just wants whatever makes it feel good. So if you're going to get addicted to the happy stuff, it's a lot better. The stuff that's healthier for you.
Well, the beauty of it too is that spine is the motor that drives the brain. There was a Nobel Prize winner by the name of Roger Sperry, and he said that 90% of the nutrition and stimulation to the brain is generated by movement of the spine. So if you want to optimize performance, if you, instead of reaching for that coffee or that energy drink or sugar or whatever it may be, there is nothing better than opening up your spine to get that access to all that energy that you have in your body all the time.
So two last questions. We're coming up on 30 minutes. One, is there a simple thing that you could share with people who are sitting at the computers all the time, like how to open up their spine quickly? And this, because you won't forget this question, but also a way, and I have some of your contact information, but I'll get the rest. Do you offer classes online so that people can join you in doing the transformational mastery?
Transformational Flexibility Mastery. Yes, all my training is online because I work with people from all over the world. So US, Canada, Europe, Australia, everywhere. So yes, all the classes are online.
Awesome.
And I'll get that. Happy family.
And I'll get that link from you. I have your Facebook page link, but I don't think I have a link for your calendar or something like that for people to book those classes.
The best thing is for people to message me and tell me a little bit about their situation, where they're coming from, and then we go from there. I still have to do an assessment with each person. Sure. So that's always very important. So, but people are welcome to message me either on Instagram or my Facebook, and we can connect and go from there and see if my method is right for them and if we're a good fit for each other. So I would love to give you some tip when you're sitting for long hours in front of a computer. So I do have some block exercises, but just for the sake of even if you're not getting off the chair, if you want to continue sitting to your chair. So if you can grab a strap or a scarf or whatever it is that is kind of do the same function, bring your arms up, then bring one arm behind your ear. So the arm here is going to do all the pulling, and this one's going to be passive. And you're and when you're doing that, I want you to be conscious of your posture. I want your chest and shoulders to be open. And then I want you to open that shoulder. Then I want you to do the same thing on the other side.
And
And
it
then
looks like it's dynamic, not static. Is it dynamic movement like that?
Dynamic, yes, dynamic movement. And now what I'd like you to do is you're going to adjust the length as far as you need, okay, to actually bring your shoulders backwards. So that part right here, I want it to be a little difficult. So I want you to bring it into the kind of distance that you need, right where it's like going through, okay? And then I want you to stay there for a little bit and just right in that place. And you do that for a minute or two, this whole exercise, and you're gonna feel so opened up, like instantly. And there are many other techniques to open you up literally within minutes, awesome. Maybe even seconds. So I'm happy to share more. For people that want to know, and they can always reach out.
Yes, I will. I have your Facebook link in the information. I'll add your IG link in the information. And we are actually at time. I really enjoyed this conversation, Ilana. It was very informative. I hope everyone who catches this later, or if anybody joined live, I hope they got a lot of good information out of it. And I really appreciate your time. And you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you so much for having me on. This was an honor and a pleasure. I hope you have an amazing day.
Awesome. Thank you. Everyone, anyone who catches this, be sure to like, subscribe, share, get in contact with Ilana. Her information will be in the comment section on the YouTube channel, and just share, because everybody needs this. So just share this with your friends, family, and loved ones, and she's got you. Bye, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video or go live. And we'll see you next time.